to get started because we are almost filling up the capacity, and we will take it from there. The last time I had a lot of complaint that we didn't have enough people got kicked out. So the case today. So good evening. Good evening. I'm going to share my screen. Let me see if I can do something fun.
So it's a class on Monday. Only what time?
It's the same time, evening at 8 p.m. the weight loss class.
Okay.
Yes.
Only evening at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Any Monday.
There are 2 children and you're the only one being married. I'll organize a wedding, don't worry.
I want to see if I can do something funny. Let me see. Can this work? Hang on. I had a video that I was watching. I was hoping I can show it.
What is muted? Okay, muted.
Okay. While we are waiting for people to join, I wanted to. There's a video on digestion that I was watching. I don't know.
Cook to impress.
Oh boy. Okay, can you see this?
Yes, we can see it.
And you can hear as well.
Look at this juicy burger.
Yes.
Doesn't it look appetizing?
Can you hear it?
It has so many good
Yes,
things in
we
it
can.
that my
Okay,
body needs.
good. I'm
Protein and fats in the meat and cheese.
I'm just
carbohydrates in the bun.
I'm just
vitamins,
playing to
minerals,
see
and
if you
fiber
can
in the
see
salad.
that, because I
How
have
can
a
I use
video
them?
that I would have loved for us to watch if we have the time. So I just went online to do that test running, but we are going to get started. Okay, so we have some chats here. Good evening, good evening. What time on Monday? 8 p.m. It would be nice if everyone can mute. Yes, a very, very nice thing. But whether they mute or not, we will mute everybody out. So that. Okie dokie. All right. Okay, good evening all, and welcome to the class today on digestive health. And hang on one second. Hang on. I don't know what's going on. Hang on. You are sharing your screen, okay? Sorry, I'm trying to open my lecture note in less than 1 minute, please. Okay. Good evening, good evening. Today's lecture is going to be fun as usual. By the grace of God, God will help us and see us through. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I want us to see this. All right, so I'm going to do a screen share. Screen. Hopefully this will work out well, but if it doesn't, it's my first time trying to show a video, so forgive me. I can say everything by mouth, but it will also be nice if you can see this video. So forgive my rookiness. Alrighty. Oh boy. Okay, here we go.
Digestion begins the moment you take a bite. Food is shuttled from the mouth to the stomach via the esophagus, a ride that will take about 5 to 8 seconds. The peristalsis is the involuntary muscular force that propels food through the digestive tract. It almost looks like an ocean wave pushing food from one organ to the next. When food reaches the end of your esophagus, a ring-like muscle called the lower esophageal sphincter relaxes and lets the food pass into your stomach. Weakness of the sphincter causes a backflux of stomach acid and heartburn. The stomach is where the real action begins. Digestive juices and enzymes break down the food that you swallowed. This helps make nutrients available for absorption later in the small intestine. The digestive juices are powerful hydrochloric acids that kill pathogens in food and gives the stomach the low pH digestive enzymes need. This acid could literally dissolve most of the other organs in your body. Luckily, your stomach contains a thick mucus lining. However, when there's too much acid in the stomach, it can eat away the inner surface of the stomach, causing an ulcer. The process of digestion takes longer for some types of food than others. Simple carbohydrates, such as an energy drink, break down the fastest. This explains why many recommend energy drinks for a quick energy boost. Proteins take longer to digest, and fats take the longest time of all. The stomach slowly empties its contents into your small intestine. The muscles of the small intestine mix food with digestive juices from the pancreas, liver, and intestine, and push the mixture forward for further digestion. The walls of the small intestine are covered by tiny finger-like projections called villi. These projections increase the surface area through which nutrients can be absorbed into your bloodstream. As peristalsis continues, the waste products of the digestive process move into the large intestine. The large intestine is named for the diameter of the cavity, not for its length. It is actually much shorter than the small intestine. Its role is to absorb any extra water from the digested material before it is finally excreted. If food passes through too quickly, too little water is absorbed, and you might have diarrhea. If it passes too slowly, your body absorbs too much water, and you may become constipated. It takes about 30 hours for food to move through the large intestine. All in all, the whole process, from the time you swallow food to the time it leaves your body as feces, takes about 2 to 4 days. Solid waste is characteristically brown and stinky. Do you know what causes its odor? If you guessed that bacteria are involved, you'd be right. Microbes that reside in the large intestine make a meal of the leftovers from the small intestine. The smell associated with stool comes from the gases released by bacteria. The large intestine then empties its contents into the rectum. Its job is to let you know that there is a stool to be evacuated, and to hold the stool until the evacuation happens. Thank you for watching this video.
Okay, I hope that made a bit of sense. Thank you for watching that video. I wanted to share that video because we are talking today about the digestive tract, and some people don't even know the difference between the mouth, the esophagus, the small intestine, the large intestine, the stomach, esophagus to stomach, then the small intestine, the large intestine. And some questions I usually get is, where does all the nutrient get absorbed? The video shows you today that it happens in the small intestine and all of that. And then, of course, it goes to the large intestine, and then it goes and sits around the rectum, and then sends a sensation to your brain that you need to poop, and then you now run to the bathroom and you poop. So that's what happens. So I just wanted that video to help us to start this meeting today. And then we are now going to get to the fun part. All right, hang on. Oh, my screen sharing is not sharing again. Start sharing. How do you do this? Hold on. Share screen. So, okay. All righty. So welcome to today's lecture, and we are going to be talking about gut health. And by the time I'm done, I want you to have understand the importance of your gut health and why, if you don't have a perfect gut health, first of all, you can't even have a perfect immune system. So all these things, sometimes you think, oh, it's malaria, it's malaria. It's not malaria. It may just be that your gut health is not correct. So we are going to talk about what is gut health when they talk about gut health. What makes gut health good? If you have an excellent gut health, really based on everything I've read, you're not even supposed to be sick. You're supposed to be having like 100% sickness-free body if you have a perfect gut health. And one of the reasons I showed the video is that if you look at the stomach and the juices that were there to do the digestion, you notice that the meal got into a wet stomach. And because of that, digestion was possible. However, the way we eat, we put so much inside that stomach that the digestive juice, the hydrochloric acid, the digestive enzyme, is not enough to digest the food that we want, that we have just eaten properly. And when that happens, we now cannot have proper food nutrition absorption. And then, of course, the cells will not get adequate nutrition. And if the cells doesn't get adequate nutrition, then we have to be sick. I thought I muted everybody, but I'm still hearing people. Hang on one second. Let me try to mute again. Just to, we've maxed out the capacity. 1 second. So by the time I'm done with mute all, by the time I'm done with today's class, if God can allow you to just pick one information, you have everything, all the information. You see, what I found out is that health is about discipline and knowledge. Two things: the knowledge and then the discipline to do what you're supposed to do. But sometimes you have the discipline, but you did not have the knowledge. So by God's grace, by attending this class, you will have both the discipline and the knowledge. For those of you who are joining for the first time, because I found out that so many new people are coming, welcome to the class. It's a family class. Many people here know me, so that's why I always forget to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Susana, as written here, and I am passionate about keeping people healthy. It's just what God put me on earth to do, especially in preventive medicine. So I also hold a master's in preventive and promotional medicine. But even before then, and then I also did a lifestyle medicine in Harvard Medical School. But apart from all of that, I started from a very strong pharma background. So I have a doctor of pharmacy degree, and I understand the world of drugs. And it dawned on me that if we don't do what we are truly supposed to do, we are always ever going to end up on drugs, admissions, surgeries, and it's not a beautiful life. there's room for drugs. I prescribe medication. I mean, I recommend medication when there is a need. But I found out that there are just small, small things that we can do. And we never really have to be on drugs for the rest of our lives. And we reserve drugs for when we truly need them. But if you live your normal life the way you're designed to live, you will actually end up being on drugs for the rest of your life. And I say, God forbid, to everybody. So the whole idea of this lecture is to teach us just few things, just tiny things that are just in front of you that you can be doing, and you will not end up on a lifelong drug. What am I talking about? In terms of gut health, depending on what you do or don't do, you're going to end up with ulcer, whether it is now or later. Number two, depending on what you do or don't do, you're going to end up with chronic constipation. It may come, go, but in the long run, you're going to end up with hemorrhoid. I don't understand. Lots of my clients have this hemorrhoid and pile issues, and sometimes in the process of going for a surgery to cut off the pile, they end up dying because of one mistake or the other, etc. So that's why this lecture is important. And by the time I'm done with this lecture, you will have a fantastic gut health. And with that fantastic gut health, you will decrease your sickness, because excellent gut health will help increase your immune system. Excellent gut health will also, it will give you skin glow, it will give you energy, it will decrease infections, etc., etc. So that's just a little overview of why it is important to understand, your body a bit, why it's important to attend this wellness lecture. The wellness lecture is only about 45 minutes long. And trust me, if you're consistent just once a week, you will walk, you won't even know when you have transformed your life. And before you know it, you'll just be healthier and living better and living longer, because that's the Dr. Physique brand promise, is that once you key into this lifestyle modification, number one, you will feel better. You will definitely feel better. You will look better, and then you will actually live longer. When we say live longer, we know that God is the author of life, and God determines how long you stay and when you go. But you must not go from a wheelchair. We should all be healthy until we exit. So that's the plan. So once again, welcome to our Dr. Physique lecture. It's a way of giving back to the community and just teaching lifestyle health that you can start from home from a reliable source. Lastly, we realize that so many things that are tossed on the internet, most of which don't come from a credible source, most of which is from only one man experience. Let's say you drank bitter leaf and your sugar went down. You're like, bitter leaf is the cure for diabetes. It's overgeneralized. So in this lecture, you're going to get not overgeneralized information. You're going to get clinically validated information, things that we are doing in the clinic that for over 8 years now, and we are seeing results. So these are the things that you're going to be hearing from this lecture. So just keep coming. As I always say, today may not be your day. Another day, we may do a lecture on headache, another day on water, another day on prostate, on weight loss, on how to have a lot of energy, on better sex health. Yes, sex health is a big deal for keeping you youthful. We will also have a lecture on that, etc., etc. So welcome to the class. All right, so as I said before, the objective of this class today is to learn about your gut. And when I say God, we have to have a definition of God. So when I say God, what am I talking about? Well, to just oversimplify, because I've gotten an award for oversimplifying things. When we are talking about gut health, we are talking about the health between really your mouth and your anus. Once again, the health between your mouth and your anus controls your life. Because, just hang on 1 second, please. 1 second. Sorry, I had to shut off the light. All right, so the health between your mouth and your anus controls your life. If you can conquer it, one of the things I do for all my listeners is that I pray for them that Heavenly Father, even if they just try small, you maximize their effort. So it's the health between your mouth and your anus. And today's lecture, we are going to find a way to perfect the health between your mouth and your anus. I'll give you lots of tips and then we'll take it from there. So the gut health, okay, if you read with me here, gut health is crucial, but it's often overlooked. All right. And then it says that recent research, okay, shows that it is very important for not just your immune system, even your mental health. Have you heard of this thing? Say, oh, I had a gut feeling. So many people don't know that your gut is connected to your brain through a very different pathway. So if you don't have a healthy gut, you don't have accurate communication between your brain and your gut feeling. So we will talk a little bit about that. Your gut health controls your metabolism. So if you don't have excellent metabolism, you're prone to having a big stomach, you're prone to having cancer, you're definitely prone to having things like hypothyroidism and even diabetes. So there are many things that will happen if you don't have a good gut health, such as this poor metabolism. And if you have poor metabolism, then your health is screwed. And then chronic diseases, even depression. Because remember, I told you that there's a connection between your brain and your gut. So that's that. The gut is the home of a complex ecosystem. It is called the microbiome. So we will talk a little bit about the microbiome. Even if you did nothing else after today, if you increase your microbiome, you've already done 50% of the work for yourself. So maybe this is a good time for me to talk about the microbiome, and then before I continue with my gut health. Okay, so what is microbiome? Okay, what is microbiome? So it just means that, hang on. Microbiome means inside your GI tract, especially your stomach, your gut, your entire gut, you have trillions of bacteria. Many bacteria live there, more than the hair on your head or the hair on your skin. You have enough bacteria. So those bacteria, they are divided into two bacteria. They are what they call good bacteria, and then there's bad bacteria. Once again, good bacteria, bad bacteria. So in fact, there's more bacteria in your mouth than in your anus. Okay, so I usually joke around and say, you will kiss somebody, secretly kiss somebody, but you will not kiss their bum bum, and you're running away from bacteria. So there are more bacteria in your mouth. So we are all populated with bacteria. Now, most of that bacteria, God put it there for digestion, to aid digestion. Now, what happens, especially in Nigeria? Every single time you take antibiotics, you kill both the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. Let me tell you the beginning of all our problems. So if you have ever had constipation, diarrhea, bloating, ulcer, etc., it can just be as simple as for the simple fact that you've ever taken antibiotics in your mouth. So when you take antibiotics, you kill both the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. Okay. Now, as you're killing the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, in Nigeria, it is not yet a culture that we need to replenish the good bacteria. I don't know about other countries, but I grew up in the US as a kid. I finished my secondary school there. I will tell you that the family physician we had growing up, after we finished taking antibiotics, they will give us a prescription for something called probiotics. And I was like, what is antibacterial probiotics? Later, I found out that probiotics is supposed to replenish the good bacteria that you have killed. So every time you take, imagine that all your life, since you were small, I don't know if people can hear me. Hang on. Please, can you hear me? I don't know. Someone chatted that they cannot hear me very well.
We can hear you clearly.
Okay.
We can hear
Loud
you
and
clearly.
loud and clear.
Can
Loud
hear
and
you
clear.
loud and clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So anytime you take antibiotics, you kill good and bad. So let us, number one, even if you didn't learn anything from this lecture, anytime you take antibiotics, start replenishing with what? Probiotics, whether doctor remembers to give it to you or not. Two, anytime you take anti-malaria or any of those anti-infectives, it will kill your probiotics, which is called your microbiome. Just buy on the shelf. Just go to the pharmacy, please. Do you have probiotics? They will say yes. Anyhow you take it is over the counter. The brand you are buying will have the prescription on the will have the prescription on the bottle. Then another thing I found out about these microbiomes is that not only does the anti-infectives, when I say anti-infectives, I'm talking anti-malaria, antibiotics, anti-this, anti-that, kills it. The stress, when we are stressed, which we are always stressed anyway, it actually kills and weakens, because remember, there's a connection between your gut and your brain too. It also further weakens your microbiomes. So that is why, if you notice, if you were very stressed for a while, then it will not be a long time you're going to come down with malaria, because it suppresses your immune system. So that microbiome is actually a massive contributor to having an excellent immune system. So one of the biggest tips that I have given on this lecture already is that be a friend to probiotics. Now, people that know about probiotics, they have now capitalized on it and they've made it very expensive, but you can also make your natural probiotics. One way to have, natural probiotics, there's something called locust beans. You can learn how to do fermented fruits and vegetable. You can ferment stuff and take it. Like fermented food helps with replenishing micro. I heard somebody say they give in Lagos here, they are giving this corn, when they do akamu, you soak the corn. That water is actually a very powerful anti-ulcer as well as probiotics. Now, on top of that, you can also now do, for your microbiomes, you can do bone broth. What is bone broth? I drink bone broth when I'm not a vegetarian, which sometimes I swing into being a vegetarian. I drink bone broth every day. How do I do that? You go to the market, you buy bone, okay? And you put the bone on a pot, and you have to cook it for minimum 3 days. 3 days. So it will bring out things like all these things that repair the joint, give you good skin, and give you a very healthy gut. And then you put it in containers. Every morning you warm it and drink it, or put some vegetable and turn it into a soup. So these are just one or two tips on how, but apart from where you get your probiotics and microbiomes from, what I want you to just remember is one thing, that anytime that you're taking any medication, apart from even the anti-infectives, that one will just finish you. But even if you're consistently on diabetes medication, BP medication, you're messing around with your natural flora. These things is actually the real name for it is natural flora. You're messing with it. So periodically, go and buy some probiotics and take it. So that will really, really help your gut health. Okay. All right. So now we have done a little bit of what is gut health all about. It says gut health refers to the well-being of the gastrointestinal system. I mentioned that before in the beginning of the lecture, which involves your stomach, your intestine, and your gut microbiome. You can see now. So a healthy gut ensures that your digestive system is functioning optimally and it supports your body in what? Absorbing nutrients. That's why I showed that video, so that you see where the nutrient is being absorbed. And that nutrient will not be well absorbed if in your stomach you don't have enough microbiomes, you don't have enough digestive enzyme. Okay, so in the pharmacy, they also sell digestive enzyme. So you can get probiotics, digestive enzymes, okay, etc. Especially after you've had either a stressful period or you've taken, or if you're somebody that you're permanently on medication, automatically every quarter, just buy a bottle of probiotics and start taking and forget about it. Lastly, on the probiotic stuff, you can get a lot of probiotics from yogurt. But I found out that the yogurt industry is becoming very, very easy wayo that I will say now. Because the whole idea was just to eat a little and get the probiotics, which there's a lot of probiotics inside a yogurt. However, they add sugar, they had artificial coloring, they might add small vanilla stuff. Then the very preservative that they add and the flavor will kill the benefits that you were taking it for now. So that's why I saw, because when I tell people about yogurt, they said, oh, I will drink Greek yogurt, I'll drink this. But what happens to the plate of Greek yogurt does not allow them to have the adequate this thing. But I want to tell you that, yes, you can get probiotics from yogurt, actually, especially if it is unsweetened. But who wants to eat unsweetened yogurt? Okay. All right. Now, why am I screaming so much about gut health? Really, your whole life is your gut. You know, we always say, anytime you take your hand to your mouth, you're either healing a disease or you're feeding one. You're either fighting a disease or you're enabling one. So when you take your hand to your mouth, what are you doing? You have to pay attention, number one, what you're taking to your mouth. But more so, the whole purpose of this lecture, one of it is to protect, to know that you have trillions of bacteria. See it here. The gut microbiome is the diverse community of trillions of bacteria, viruses, fungi, and other microorganisms that live in your digestive tract. They are there. They are there. It doesn't kill you. It's there to help you. So don't kill them. Okay? All right. Now, many of my clients, what I notice is that they have more of the bad bacteria than the good bacteria. Because when you have more of the bad bacteria, then you have bloating. Like you can have one bad bacteria, could be something like H. pylori. H. pylori, it just shows that anybody that have H. pylori, you don't have enough microbiomes. I mean, you don't have enough probiotics. When they say microbiome, it's all the bacteria that is there, everything. But let's just, for the purpose of this lecture and remembering, just stick with the word probiotics. If you have H. pylori positive, instead of when somebody says, oh, I have ulcer, they now carry a drug that is supposed to further finish you. In fact, and you take that drug for life, which is just an acid blocker, and then you remove it, it goes back, you take it again, the acid comes back, you take it again, you take like that for life. Eventually you're tired, and anytime you don't take it, the acid just comes out too much. So if you have ulcer and you're consistent on probiotics, you can quote me, cure that ulcer 10 times faster than just being on the drugs alone. Okay, so that is that. It says this, so the functions of the microbiomes include digestion and nutrition absorption. It regulates your immune health. It helps with your metabolism and energy balance. And look at it, communication with your brain, so you can see that. Okay, how it says God placed in breaking down food, we have said this, the stomach acid, remember the video, and digestive enzyme, they are the ones that begin the breakdown process of anything you put in your mouth. So if you now don't have enough digestive enzyme, why won't you have stomach issue? You have stomach issue. You will definitely end up with pile, constipation, bloating, GERD, all kinds of things, okay? And then, but the gut microbiota is key in fermenting of fibers, etc. So these are some symptoms that you have digestive issues. If you have bloating, you have digestive issues. If you have constipation or diarrhea, something is not correct. Indigestion, gas, I add ulcer. So maintaining a good gut bacteria balance will actually help you out with this. For me, between what I've just said and taking a lot of cucumbers, because cucumber is alkaline, so it actually balances things out a lot for me. There's somebody on this line, the person is actually from London, is in London, also has a Nigerian number. I've seen him on this line as we are talking. He can confess if he wants to, but he mustn't. We used probiotics, digestive enzyme, and cucumbers first thing in the morning, last thing at night, to get rid of the ulcers that was killing him. The ulcer that was killing him. So you can see how, what if he did not run into me, he would just be on that drug until later they'll say they'll do surgery to cut your stomach. And once they do that, we have one of our clients who has gone through that surgery, and it doesn't matter all the digestive enzyme and probiotics that I've given to her, there are just certain parts of your GI tract, they do different work. So even if you have all the probiotics and digestive enzyme, if a certain part is cut off, that work will never be done. So she's still suffering, but at least she has a bit of relief. Okay, so immune system connection. You see here, it says that it is a fact that around 90% of your body's immune cells reside in your gut. Please, this is the second thing I want you to go home with. Anything that controls your immune system, your immune cells, 70%, that is the majority. It resides in your gut. So now, if your gut is now not healthy and you're now having bloating, constipation, ulcer, gas, how will you have a very strong body? It's just not possible. So the gut microbiome actually helps with that digestive health. One more thing. A lady asked me yesterday that why is it that Nigerians, we don't tolerate milk very well. Milk, we adults that love drinking milk. So why is it that they don't tolerate milk very well? If you're one of those, the reason why you don't tolerate milk, you compared to the white people, when a white baby is done breastfeeding, they move to still fresh milk from a cow or animal source fresh milk. when they're done with that type of fresh milk, they move to solid fresh milk, which is like cheese. They eat cheeseburger, they eat pizza, they eat what is that salad that has cheese. So all their life they have been consistent with milk products, etc. Now, what happens to the Nigerian person? When we are a baby, we suck the breast. After that, you now graduate to canned milk or evaporated milk, which does not have anything to do with live animal, protein, milk, So that something called lactate, that's why some people say, I'm lactose intolerant. So those things that digest the milk, you did not train it to be growing up with you as you're getting older. So that is why when you drink the milk, you start hearing drinking ice cream. You start hearing noise from your ear, from your stomach to your ear, blue, 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 blue. Is because you don't have enough digestive enzymes for breaking down milk products because you did not train and grow up with it. Now, it doesn't happen for everyone. There are some adults that for some reason, God just helped them to digest milk easily. I always teach, listen to your body. Your body is your best doctor. You don't need to go far. Just listen to your body. It will tell you what you need to do to be well. All right. So people that have poor gut health, they have irritable bowel disease, IBS, or they call it Crohn's disease. It's very painful. There's also autoimmune disorder. This one, lots of doctors even miss it. Lots of people, doctors, even I can easily miss it. So it's not about other doctors. Because your own immune system is attacking your body, autoimmune disorder, where your system is attacking you. And for some reason, just nothing is working. So first, they might think it's IBS, or they'll think it's GERD, or they'll think it's ulcer. The thing will just be going. Usually, you see the person go from constipation to diarrhea, just destabilize like that, back and forth. All right. Now, I talked a lot about the fact that your gut and your brain, they're connected, okay? And so if your gut is not clean, you can't be as progressive in life. There are some people that I'm so sorry, they are innovators, they are creators. Some people say, oh, we are co-creators with God. I don't know about that because that magnitude is a little bit wide, but whatever, it doesn't matter. We are supposed to be inventors. We are supposed to change the world. I will tell you that if you have a bad gut health, in fact, you can't change the world. I would love to be challenged on that. Because if your stomach is bloating, how will it send, you're sitting here and you say, oh, I have a gut feeling that gut feeling, it shows that your gut is connected to your mind, is connected to your brain. And a healthy gut promotes a healthier gut-brain connection. So if you want to be progressive in life, want to be more successful, you can actually invest on having a very good gut health. You can see it here. So this is clinically and scientifically proven that your gut, is directly connected to your gut is directly connected to your brain. All right. Sorry, whenever I'm in Lagos, I use my phone to do it and calls come in instead of my tablet. Okay, so we are almost done. We just have about 2 or 3 slides to go. Then we'll take your question. So an imbalanced gut microbiome, okay, can contribute to development of obesity, stomach fat, etc. Type 2 diabetes, okay. You will definitely have high cholesterol. You have IBS, inflammatory bowel disease. Other things that you will experience if your gut, depression, remember the gut brain this thing, depression, heart disease, okay? Did you know that if you don't have a good oral flora, like your teeth, you don't brush your teeth at night and your mouth is disgusting, you can develop a medical condition called infectious endocarditis. So from just the rottenness of your mouth and teeth, you can infect your heart, and you have that low-grade inflammation that eventually becomes a pneumonia or all kinds of things, but is actually medically termed infectious endocarditis. And it can come, it's not only from the mouth, but a bad oral flora, not oral flora, oral hygiene can cause infectious endocarditis. And you just die because you did not brush your teeth at night and you did not take care of the nonsense, small things that grow up in your mouth. So another disease is IBS. IBS is the same as IBD, irritable bowel syndrome, irritable bowel disease, okay? Colon cancer. There's a friend who called me that a friend's son is suffering from colon cancer. Colon cancer is the leading cause of male death. It's killing men a lot. Colon cancer. And remember, the colon is right next to the prostate. For those of you that have a father, a husband, or any man that you love, if you don't have a colon health, a good colon health, remember, we are talking about GI health. GI is from your mouth. I started by saying that we are discussing that between your mouth to your anus controls your life. Honestly, if you, God, I wish I can express how massive this thing is. Sometimes I just don't get the right words. So what goes into your mouth and how it goes into your mouth can end up causing you a colon cancer. And many people don't come out of. In fact, if you come to our clinic with colon cancer, I'll be looking for how to escape from it. But if you make it to us, we have to treat you, because colon cancer is one of those very messed up cancer. And the easiest way to just not have this colon cancer is to do two things. Be a fan of colonic hydrotherapy, be a fan of probiotics. Above all, do your colonoscopy. If I ask you, tell the gospel truth, if you're above the age of 45, 50, have you done colonoscopy? You will say no, because by the time you do the colon, see, cancer grows in the stomach and colon for over 10 years before it can be detected, before it has a symptom. 10 years, minimum 10 years. Please, I'm talking from a very well-researched place. People say, oh, Dr. Susan, you have like 5 master's degree. It's just to show that I will not open my mouth until I have thoroughly and perfectly researched. So I want to be quoted that I said it. So I do my homework before I open my mouth. Cancers can exist in your gut, in your stomach, in your colon, and everything for up to 10 years before it can even be picked up. The only way it can be picked up is if you find out you're always having constipation, diarrhea, bloating, ulcer, all these GI issues that we are talking about, and you're above the age of 50, just close your eye and do colonoscopy. It's not fun though. Even me, I don't like colonoscopy. But at least they will see maybe polyps. They will clip it off once and for all. Number 2, we can find it at very baby stage. If you have a father, if you have an uncle, tell them to go and do colonoscopy. And you will be free. And then after that colonoscopy, you don't have to worry about colonoscopy for another 5 to 10 years. So I think everybody on this line should do a baseline colonoscopy, because trust me, you don't want to have cancer. And it can be caught before it catches you. You will be okay. We are trying to team up on this platform to create a sickness-free body and a sickness-free world. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, this is called the Sickness-Free Community. So we are just trying our little best. What is our contribution to our health? Not that you sit and do nothing and then you wait to run to the doctor in emergency to have admission, surgery, and lifelong drug. No, we are going to contribute to our health, and this is what this lecture is all about. So finally, here are some factors that affect your gut health. From diet, if you have high protein, plant-based mostly, you will be your gut health will be very fantastic. The problem is that rice does not have fiber. There's an exaggeration there. The fiber is too tiny, and rice is our main food, you see. So you can see that bread, no fiber. So if you're a fan of rice and bread, you will end up later. Not everybody, I keep saying this, there's exception to the rule. There are people that can mess up anyhow they want to, but for some strange reason, God just spares them. But for the majority, you may not be that lucky, okay? All right. 2, the use of antibiotics. We are not saying you will not use antibiotics when you are sick. You must use it. However, use it sparingly because you really want to. For example, this scent leaf, scent leaf now, the one you use for pepper soup and goat meat pepper soup. If you wash it and drink a glass of it, even if it's once a week, it's a very powerful antibiotic, antibiotic and even prebiotic. So it's really, really fantastic gut health medicine. I'll tell you, my dad, he does not digest beans very well. So every time he wants to eat beans, he will chew 3 leaves of scent leaf and he will eat that beans, nothing will happen. So that's how I know that there's something really powerful about scent leaf. So just chew 3 leaves. Even if you're not eating beans, you can plant scent leaf. You can chew 3 leaves, maybe 2-3 times a week. God has already put all the medicine in the plants around us. We just have to reach out and pick it. So the farther we run from natural things, the closer we run to diseases. So that, unfortunately, that is how it is. Another thing that will affect your gut health, I even said it before, stress. So it says chronic stress can negatively impact your gut flora. And also, in fact, I said it from the beginning. If you see, stress is, for me, we did a lecture on stress before. We will do that very simple techniques that can remove you. Me, I cannot be stressed, so I will not, because stress is a complete disease. It's even a higher disease than everything else because it's the disease that gives birth to every other disease. So if you know that you're stressed in a chronic manner, then be ready for it now. You have to be ready to enjoy BP, enjoy cancer, enjoy. So once you know some of these things, and then you now destroy your gut health on top of that, may God Almighty help all of us and help everybody that is to the sound of my ear remove unnecessary stressor from your life. So I pray, because some stress is just so unnecessary. You're just sitting and it will find you. But we too, we need to be armed with techniques on how to get rid of stress. Sleeping. If you don't sleep properly, you will also mess up your microbiomes, okay? And then environmental toxins, all these things, pollutants and stuff, and then lifestyle choices. Let me say, apart from antibiotics, I told you that will wipe your microbiomes. The number one thing that will wipe it faster than that one is alcohol. Anytime you just drink alcohol, especially those dry ones like whiskey, kind, and the rest of them, you're just killing it. I think red wine is a little mild, but there's still alcohol. Okay, smoke. You're finishing yourself. And then also lack of exercise will also contribute. Now, oh my God, okay. I've already explained this one. If you notice this, you have gut issue, because it's not till you're hearing gas, bloating, hemorrhoid, ulcer, diarrhea before you know. If you have skin issues, your stomach is not right. If you have all these pimples, acne, your stomach can be better. Okay. Food intolerance will also affect it. If you have mental health symptoms, like depression, anxiety, mood swings, your gut is not balanced. If you're always tired and fatigued, your gut is not balanced. Okay. Okay, so these are signs of poor gut health. Okay, I've just explained that already. And I think this should be my last. Let me see. Yep, this is my last slide. Good. So how do you improve it? We've talked about it. Change your diet, high fiber, natural fruits and vegetable will help you. But listen to your body, because there are some fruits and vegetable you eat, it will now bloat you. Okay, like I heard some people, watermelon will bloat them. I told you, listen to your body. Your body will tell you what it loves and what it rejects. If your body rejects it, throw it away. My auntie is almost 90. She can run faster than the children. She runs up the stairs and everything. And I got it from her mouth. If something doesn't, you listen to your body. If it doesn't work for you, get rid of it, okay? Incorporate some fermented food, kimchi. We talked about yogurt, but remember I told you, if it's because the sugar and the flavors will finish you, then you can limit processed foods and sugar. I also thought that you can take things like probiotics, which is like, bacteria, beneficial bacteria, okay? And then prebiotics, which is fibers that nourishes the bacteria and can support good gut health. Learn stress management. We will do a lecture on stress. And if you attend that lecture on stress and you're still stressed, then we need to talk to someone from our village somewhere, because it's so easy to, you can have stress, but don't suffer from the sickness that stress bring along. So look at this person. If you've ever seen this, then it means that your stomach is in trouble. All right. And staying on drugs again is not the solution. All right. Okay. A healthy gut is a healthy you. All right. The fastest way to have a healthy gut is shrinking your portion. We did a lecture 2 Mondays ago for the fat loss group that shows that almost all of Nigerians are on double the calorie. So we are supposed to be on about 1,200 to 1,500 calories per day. But most Nigerians are on 2,500 to 4,500 calories per day. Automatically, there's no room for us to have a good gut health. We must have a bumpy stomach, stomach that is shooting out, or we are sucking it and everything. So if you have your food portion, you've already started gut health medicine, okay? All right, let's see. Okay, so that's the end of that lecture for that. Now, what was the whole objective? I mentioned the objective in the beginning, but I just wanted that even if you spend 45 minutes with me every evening, you pick at least one thing that will help you to live longer, to feel better, and actually to look better. That is one. And the best way to have the best life yet is to have a healthy gut. How do you have healthy guts? Okay, you drink what you even this our this one. I forgot to mention this because in Dr. Physique, this is what we preach. Well, let me do this before I say what I want to say. even if you have all the gut health in the whole world, you need we are talking holistic health here. So you still need to remember to rest, because there's something called rest as medicine. If you're not resting, you will be rested. If you're not resting, I always give example of the man that flies here, go here, changing the world, but he got into a stroke, and today he cannot move. He can't move again. So he didn't rest, and he has been rested. Sometimes he's 6 foot under. So just nothing will change. And the man thought, without him, the world cannot change. Even election has passed, things are happening. So let's not make the same mistake. Let's try and rest. I am a victim of not resting, but sometimes I just tell myself, go and rest. So if me, that I even, in fact, if I say what I want to say, I might annoy one or two people here. I just feel like I have too many lives to save than to rest, especially in terms of health. How many people can I quickly get to so that they can be well, so that they can do what God puts them on this on this earth in good health? So I get restless, like someone could be dying because I'm sleeping. It's like an issue in my head. So I stand up and I start working, and I tell myself, go back and rest or you'll be rested. So I struggle too. So I'm sharing my struggle as a human being, but because I know that rest is a complete medicine that will help me live longer, to do more of what I enjoy doing, like what I'm doing now, then I go back and rest. So rest. Energy level, pay attention to your energy level. We talk about oxygen, deep breathing exercises. Okay, I give example that if you do deep breathing, you can actually crash your BP. It calms you. Water as medicine. So water as medicine. That means drink before 6 p.m. if you can, even if you can do 4 bottles, 3 bottles, but drink medicinally. Our prescription is 2 for breakfast, 2 for lunch and 2 for dinner before 6 p.m. That is the kind of water we want you to drink, because even if you have oxygen, it's water that will take the oxygen to the cells. And if the cell does not get oxygen, it dies. Any cell out of contact with water is a dead cell. And when you have enough dead cells, you have enough dead tissue, you have enough dead organs, and then you die. So we don't want that. So drink the water, okay? And then for nutrition, we said eat more of fruits, vegetable, raw food, and then exercise, and then do your detox. For detox, we preach 1 day a week. You can do fasting and activate what is called autophagy. You can do food detox. You can do all kinds of mouth detox, fruit detox, cucumber detox, but you just need to detox. So that is that. Now, I left the best for last. In our clinic, how do we revamp, when you take your hair and your body somewhere, they say we want to revamp. How do we revamp the gut health? There's something called colonic hydrotherapy, colon hydrotherapy. So basically, we just take a small straw, we put it in your rectum, and fill up your colon and your gut with water. You will rub your stomach, you will poop. You release all those toxins. By God's grace, the machine that we have, you will see all the things that are coming out. Now, after we relieve that, okay, you have to be on probiotics. You can take dewormer. Another way to improve your gut health, even today, go to the nearest pharmacy. You can buy something called albendazole or Zentil. It's a dewormer. It's not only for children. We eat salad and we have a lot of bad worms in our gut. So during the colonic hydrotherapy session, we remove bad worms, we decrease acid, and all. So it's just like a gut health professionally done. It's like you can barb your hair, or you go to barber shop, that is a hair, or you can clean your floor, or you can get a professional cleaner. But whether you come to the clinic to do a proper colonic hydrotherapy or not, I feel that this lecture has given you enough information for you to start having a perfect gut health. So to summarize, if you're writing, this is the time to write. Number one, for excellent gut health, you're going to do adequate amount of water. So that is number one, water. When you have adequate amount of water in your gut, you will be okay. That water, you don't drink water when you're eating. You drink the water before you eat or 30 minutes after you eat so that the gastric juices can do the digestion. Number two, you have to do smaller portions because if the portion is too big, it will not digest very well. So smaller portions, okay? Number three, if you're writing, okay, you're going to do, as I told you before, be a friend of probiotics. Probiotics. So anytime if you've done an antibiotics, go buy your probiotics and take afterwards and stuff like that. Number four, I've talked about deworming. You have to deworm. Deworming. So deworm, when did you deworm last? You can go to pharmacy and ask, can I have a dewormer? It's not only for children, it's for adults. I talked about scent leaves. Scent leaf is an excellent gut this thing. There are many others. There are so many. Milk thistle is good for the liver. There are so many. We even have one that we sell in Dr. Physic called colonix tea. It helps to move out all the toxins and you empty your bowels properly and all of that. So, but you can be using scent leaf along. So there are many things that promote good, excellent gut health. Okay, we talked about distressing, sleeping better, etc. Okay, all right. And then number 7, of course, we have addressed diet, like if you do more of fruits, vegetables, and listen to your body. If your body rejects something, you should really, really reject it, okay? So, I mean, there are many, many other ways. Fermented food. I talked about fermented food, etc. But more than listing all of these things, I think is doing. Just start doing, and then just have the understanding that gut health, you can actually manage your gut health, and you can actually increase your life by having a good gut health. So sorry I took a little longer today. I want to say thank you so much for your time. And the lecture is over. So if you have any question, this would be a good time to ask. Thank you.
Good evening, doctor.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much for this lecture. May God continue to bless you.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Regarding the probiotics, like for
Yes,
how
sir.
long can one take it? Is it for a month, 6 months, or periodically, or what is like?
So it depends
timing?
on, yes, sir. It depends on your sickness, not you. I'm saying the person's ailment.
Okay.
So if it
Okay.
is prevention now, if it's for prevention,
Okay.
like women self, they have all this yeast infection and any infection that you're not just getting yourself back. Honestly, if you go on a solid bottle of probiotics for just 1 month to start
Okay.
with now, but if you have a chronic condition, then the doctor should prescribe it for you so that the doctor can now determine if you can go for 3 months, 2 months, 6 months, or maybe, like one man, I was trying to help him to cure H. pylori. Sir, we did probiotics for a year. To God be the glory.
Wow.
The probiotics is gone. I mean, the H. pylori is gone permanently. Do you understand?
Wow.
So,
Yes.
yeah. So it depends on, but in general, I want to recommend you should pick a bottle and finish it, because most Nigerians, we are very deficient. So yes, sir.
Okay, like after taking antibiotics, you can just take it for 1 month.
You can take it for 1 week.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you can take it for 1 week. If you take an antibiotics and you want to replenish, you can just do for 1 week. Okay. So I will go through all the written things.
Hello, Dr. Susan. I have a question, please.
Go ahead, dear.
I know you. Thank you so much for the very insightful presentation. Once more, it's always such a pleasure and
Thank you.
listening to you. Yeah, I know I can testify that since for the 1 year I have known you, my health has improved tremendously, and I feel so much better and getting better, even better every day, because of all the lifestyle changes, information that you give us through this your Zoom meetings. So thank you so much for the good work you're doing. You're truly changing the world one person at a time.
Thank you,
God bless
doctor.
you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
doctor.
So my question is on colonoscopy and colon hydrotherapy.
Okay, camera.
Yes,
So
I just wanted to understand the
what's the
difference between.
difference? Okay.
Yes, do they do the same thing or not?
No, no.
Mm.
So colonoscopy, from the age of 49, you should have a baseline stomach study. So the word oscopy is actually the study of the colon. So you're studying the colon to find out, are you likely to have cancer? Are there polyps growing? Is there any unforeseen? Is there wound along the highway? Is there even prostate can be picked up? It's just a study. So they just put a camera through your rectum and start using the camera. So you'll be seeing the camera on the screen, and they now study the whole thing and tell you that you're perfect. Come back after 5 years or 10 years. So that is the oscopy. That's the study. While colonic hydrotherapy is still going in through the colon, but we are pushing in water using things like probiotics, digestive enzyme, dewormer, just to clean out the colon. So the difference is that a colon study versus a colon cleanse. So colonic
Right.
hydrocaloric is a cleanse, while the study is actually an investigation. Thank you so much for that brilliant question.
Thank you so much.
You're
So
welcome.
what is called when they put a camera in the uterus? Does that is that colonoscopy or that's something else?
That's something else altogether. There's no
Okay.
colon near the uterus that goes in
All
through
right.
the
Okay.
vagina. Yes, yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome, dear.
Good evening, doctor.
Good evening, sir.
Thanks for the lecture. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Basically, I have two questions.
Okay, sir.
The first one is that when we go to the clinic, there's the initial test that we did, the initial blood works that we did.
Yes,
There
sir.
is one particular test then that that the doctor told me personally that it revealed that the likelihood of cancer is not in my body. The
Okay.
likelihood of cancer. So, do I still have to go do colonoscopy in this one now? That's number one. That's my first question. Then the second question is that, okay, there are a lot of teas, disfibigol, hibiscus, all those teas that we get from the clinic. Do we have to use? Do you encourage us to put milk to drink those teas or what?
Okay. So the first one is the test is called CEA. Okay,
Yes,
CEA. Yes, sir. So that
yes.
CEA, just to oversimplify it, just think of it as cancer embryonic antigen. Just think of cancer marker. So
Okay.
if you're negative for cancer marker, the cancer marker actually gets activated when the cancer is already alive and visible somewhere. So colonoscopy will catch like polyps that can eventually transform into cancer. So it's not the same thing. So one
Okay.
is, yes, so it's a good idea that even if you do the colonoscopy, we will not find anything. Oh, it's a good marker. But I taught everybody here, let us be doing tests when we will get good result. You understand? If you're an A student, you also want your test result to be A. I don't want to, even when I want to do my annual test, I will go to gym, I will clean my body very well because I don't want to see any bad results, and that good results will encourage me to keep it good. But there's some people, they wait to get a bad result. So, sir, how old are you, sir?
You know my age, doctor.
Fine. So go and do your colonoscopy baseline. If not, I will catch you and I will admit you somewhere and they will do it to you. So sir, let's just do it's easier because colon cancer is too rampant. There's the National Defense College in Abuja, NDC.
No, I've not been. I've only been to Abuja twice in my life.
Okay. The PMC means PMS. I don't know. The person that is in charge of the officers' mess.
Okay.
As he was, he just had like a few weeks to retirement. He started having stomach issue. He will be keeping quiet. Stomach issue. He'll be keeping quiet. Finally, he decides to go to Cedar Crest, and they told him that you have a metastatic colon. The colon cancer is already metastasizing. Do you know what? The day they buried him is the day they actually released, because he was already going through retirement. So he has filed, there's this money they give these military people. I'm sure there are lots of military people here. His burial day is the day the money was released or some. So he even became richer after he died. And like, because he's a Muslim, so they buried him with immediate effect and everything. So why am I saying this? He was doing his work solid. For him to even be PMC is a big post.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you won't know what you have. This is the beauty of preventive medicine. Please, let us enjoy this life together, please. Okay. Okay, so finally, it says,
the tea and the
yes,
milk.
sir, don't
Good
put
evening,
milk.
doctor.
Don't put milk.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
Good
sir.
evening,
Sir,
Dr. Susan.
yes, sir. Good evening.
Now, thank you so much. Doctor, the issue of the drinking water, you said that we should stop water by 6 o'clock. How about us that would drink even up to 10 to 10?
So even if you drink water till 10 or 11 or 12, there's no problem. But the problem is that it will keep you up at night, number one, and that will disrupt a healthy heart. So your heart can never be as healthy if, let's say, you're sleeping normally and wake up versus somebody that is waking up to pee, waking up to pee. So it helps people to die younger and faster. So that's why I want us to drink. And the reason you're drinking water at 10 is because you did not drink enough during the day. So when you now finally relax, you just feel a very severe thirst. You said, you know what, let me drink. I'll be urinating at night, but for how long? So if you can, it's just a modification. Drink your water before 6 p.m. After 6 p.m., just drink small, small, small. This is the reason.
Okay.
Somebody says, can probiotics...
Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear. Someone says, can probiotics take care of sinus infection? 100% yes. Because remember, 70% of your whole immune health that can fight infection is in your gut. So if you now take probiotics or you have a good health, your infection will be at minimum half. Do you understand? So yes, you should do that. What type of food should we ferment? I think a simple Google search will do that, but you can ferment cabbage, you can ferment this other thing I mentioned before, locust
Cucumber.
beans, you can ferment cucumber, etc. So all
That's
kinds of,
not cucumber.
we will have to look it up because no, I think pickles are not. Is it fermented? You know, pickles, those baby. It's a fermented food now, isn't it? Okay, you know what? I will drop a list of food that we can ferment, but I'm thinking pickled. No, it's pickled. It's not fermented. I don't think you can ferment cucumber, but I'll check it out. But the ones I know you can ferment are those two that I've just mentioned. How often should we deworm? You should deworm minimum once a year, okay, or 2 times a year. How long should we take the probiotics? I have already answered that. So,
Good evening, Dr. Susan.
Hi, good
evening,
evening.
Doctor.
Good
Yes,
evening,
thank
ma'am.
you so much for the lecture. Just a quick one, please.
Go ahead, dear.
Yes, before going for exercise, I normally go for exercise. Do I need to take water or after
Yes.
exercise?
Yes.
Before.
Before. Okay.
Before. Better if you take, for me, I take hot water. If I just want to exercise, I take a cup of hot water. It speeds up my sweating.
Okay.
Because the definition of exercise for Dr. Physique is if you can break a sweat or pant, so it speeds up your metabolism and you can sweat faster and detox through your skin faster. So I do hot water when I want to run out.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
and
you.
then when you
Thank
come
you,
back,
thank
you drink again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. But drink just before you step out, because if you drink a few minutes, 30 minutes before then by the time you step out, you feel like urinating. So I've done it where I just went outside, I have to go back, etc. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All right. Someone asked, so is pap a good prebiotics? Yeah, it's a decent, but pap comes with its own wahala, which is too much starch and carbohydrate. So that is that. Please, how can we flush the effect of antibiotics from the body? Is that a question? How can we flush the effect of antibiotics from our system? The best way to flush the effect of antibiotics from your system is just to stop taking it and then drink enough water. This is the best way to start. So this is the longest lecture that we've ever had. It will not happen again, but the gut health is a very long lecture. And honestly, even just understanding the importance, put your hand on your belly and appreciate it. Like, put your hand there and appreciate your belly for carrying you. We don't pay enough attention to our organ. And you can actually put your hand there and pray for your belly and your gut to heal it, and pray to God to heal it, to encourage good bacterial growth, to encourage good digestion, and for your stomach to be good to you. That will also help. So that is that. So for everybody who is still here, I pray that God, any small thing that you do, that even if you do 1, God will add 9 so that you have 10 over 10. This is my prayer for you. Have a beautiful evening and we will talk again. God bless you. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.